Cheap chat show, never slow, where the dolls and stories glow. Cheap chat show, let it flow. Every question makes us grow.
Hi.
Yay!
I was trying to do this on my desktop, so I had a better camera and microphone situation. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Okay. Look, if I turn it, this is literally,
Yeah.
okay.
No?
This is like upside
Yeah?
down. This is so weird. And
Well,
now I'm on an
um,
iPad and it's like not. Hello. Maybe I should try my phone.
Did you have like a phone stand or something?
Yeah, I've got like my iPad is literally on a stand and the camera is not being normal.
It's perfect. Like
Okay.
this, it's perfect.
Okay. I'm looking at it sideways, but I guess
It's
now I'm upright.
in here, it's perfect for the people
Okay.
watching it. So
Awesome.
thanks for joining, by the way. There's
Yeah.
two things that I like to start with. The first one is that I've had a bunch of questions for this interview, and the question is on my phone.
Oh, so now you can't access
But
the
I'm
question.
thinking that, you know what, I have ADHD, so when you have ADHD, you don't need a list. So you just go with
Exactly.
the flow.
Yeah, me too.
That's the first thing. And the other thing that I wanted to start with, which is a tradition now, is to call you out for something, which is the fact that you are a triple thread, meaning that you create your doll, you create your own dioramas, and you're doing stop motion.
So
The fuck is that?
I haven't created all of my dolls. Some of them, but not all of them. But so it's a
You're
mix. It's a mix of
crowed.
stuff.
Spotted. But so I have many questions. First thing is that why bug?
I was like a weird little kid that loved bugs, loved dinosaurs. So I feel like getting into this is just kind of like reconnecting to my inner child. And I never really liked Barbies as a young girl.
Wow.
But I was always obsessed with like the miniatures and the accessories. And so now I've finally found like a world where I fit in, where I still get to play with all the fun stuff, but I'm a little bit more attached to them than the people.
So for the people watching and hearing about this, you have an account where you're doing a lot of stop motion and photography with miniatures of bugs that you have
Yeah,
right here. This is
a
just
bug,
incredible.
frog primarily.
And I was wondering, the one in the middle, what kind of insect is this? It's
um,
like a
so
butterfly or something?
Yeah. So the artist that made her, she's Russian. Her account is called Good and Strange. And the translation that like came through was butterfly. So she's like a butterfly, like a moth.
So I was thinking about it. The head was like a thing, reminded me of a
Yeah.
butterfly, but I was like, it doesn't have any wings. So is it a butterfly without wings, or what is it? The thing
So
behind it?
she does have this super cute trench coat that she wears sometimes that's from the artist that has wings attached to it.
Oh,
But it does make it difficult for her to like sit in chairs and stuff, so I don't have them on her all the time.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I have like usually three axis chapters, as I like to call them, for the questions, starting with you yourself as a person, what you're doing, your craft, and all the things. And I forgot which one was the third one. But let's start with this first two. Which one do
Yeah.
you want to start with? You as a person or your craft?
Either one. I guess like who I am as a person is my craft. That's like all I do. So
Cool. Do you have any background for the stop motion or storytelling or something?
no. I actually just started learning stop motion animation this year. Um, my best friend Danny, he previously worked at Leica Studios. He made like Box Trolls and Coraline and those movies. Um,
Laika! Oh,
yeah,
fuck's
yeah.
sake, amazing.
So he was a like a model maker for them. He wasn't an animator, but he made all the really cool like accessories and stuff. And so I became friends with him like 8 years ago, and I've just like learned how to paint from him, learned how to sculpt from him, like 3D modeling. But the animation is new to us both. So I took a class through the New York School of Visual Arts online this last fall, and that's kind of what has like, I guess, skyrocketed me in like the last few months of like learning how to do it and like finally making some videos. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
so I just like, I love picking up new skills and art forms.
Well, I highly recommend to the people watching this later on, well, after the interview, to check on your videos, because I will never thought for a second that you just started. It is so polished. I thought that you had education on that, that you went to school for that, or things like that, you know?
No.
Holy
Uh,
moly.
I went to school for pre-veterinary medicine, and I actually couldn't afford to finish, so I have like 3 or 4 years of like a bunch of random like science credits. I never thought that like art was gonna be like a path like forward for
Hmm.
me. I really wish I had gone to art school, but I've been taking a lot of just like continuing education stuff at like my local community college. And my friend Danny, who's taught me a lot of this stuff, he's a professor at a school called DigiPen. Um, and I'm auditing a sculpture class with him over there.
Wow.
So trying as much as I can, but yeah, no, not really any like formal training.
Well,
Just a lot of like
the
social.
self-taught or
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. And I was wondering about that also, is that, well, obviously you live in USA, and I was thinking that, do you usually, like, when you grew up, write stories and did some storytelling or something? Do you have like personal experiences of that?
Yeah, I definitely like, I used to write a lot of like fiction as a kid, and I loved books. Honestly, I look back at like the US education system like sucks in general, and I can
No,
I
does
can
it?
look so bad. I can look back to like the exact moment in time of like when I stopped like creative writing and storytelling, is when I think it was like 5th grade. Um, we like had to take this class on like how to like write formally, like you have to write like a concrete detail and then like a commentary to support it, and it was so formulaic and structured, and it honestly just like sucked all the fun out of like writing for
Yeah,
me. It's like I used to write like 50-page stories about bugs and horses and stuff as like a little kid, and then after that happened, like it really like ruined it for me. So again, it's like kind of like reconnecting the
yeah.
childhood
So it was always
storyteller.
with bugs. So bugs were
Yeah,
always there.
always
It was
always
part
like
of the equation.
animals, bugs, yeah.
So you didn't write any fan fiction, like Harry Potter fan fiction or something?
No,
Oh,
I
wow.
I miss that whole like Tumblr fanfic like era of like writing. Yeah.
Yeah, those were incredible.
Yeah.
Bad, but incredible.
Yeah. I think it's picking back up for
Oh,
sure.
well, yeah. But
Yeah.
I was wondering, this is kind of, well, whatever. Oh my God, Bug's Life. Have you watched the Bug's Life?
Yes. Actually, you'll have to go and watch. I made a video yesterday when I thought that TikTok was ending. TikTok actually just came back for Americans like
Yeah, I
30.
just saw that like 30 minutes ago. It just came back.
Yeah. Yeah, but I made um a video yesterday with the bugs,
Mhm.
and have you seen those tiny working TVs? I put a Bug's Life like clip on there and like made a video with that. So you have to go watch that. But yeah, that's the video. That's the movie
Yeah,
that revitalized me for
yeah,
so
I
long.
think I saw the what you're talking about with the insect, and they're outnumbers us or something like that. I
Yeah,
think it was. Yeah, I saw that, and I was
yeah,
like, yeah, sad but true,
very,
but sad but true.
yes,
Oh my God, that's so crazy. And speaking of technical things, I was wondering, do you remove the stand that you use frame per frame, or do you use like an AI tool or something?
So you'll see in like some of my videos, I have like rigs that things are like clipped to, and I actually like my skill set isn't there yet to remove them frame by frame, but that is what has to be done is you have to like take a photo of like a blank plate of like your diorama without the characters or anything set up, and then you set everything up, and then you take all your frames so that you can go and erase the rig out frame by frame. But I haven't quite figured that out yet. So you'll see some videos like you can see stuff that like isn't hidden
Yeah.
well enough.
Because I think that you made a video for Halloween, I
Yeah,
think it was, with the spider.
yeah,
Y-
yeah,
there wasn't any, there was one with the rig, but I think I
yeah,
remember watching one that hasn't had the rig in it.
yeah.
Or am I?
I made one of like honestly because like my editing skills aren't there, and that's the part that's like really not fun for me. I've been just like trying to find creative ways of just like getting around that. Like the spiders are really good at like climbing on stuff and sticking to stuff because they have like little pipe cleaner legs. So like I made a video of this one climbing the Christmas tree for the holidays, and I didn't have to use a rig at all. So I've been just like cheating.
Oh, okay. Now I can understand why there
Yeah.
isn't any rig on that video.
Yeah.
That's smart. I remember there was a friend, a photographer, who told me once that when you do photos, you try your best to have the less editing after you took the shot. So he was really thinking about the framing and everything, the elements on the picture, to make sure that it will just save time while editing. So it's actually a good thing that a good reminder
Yeah.
that you think about that, because while editing, no, you're just wasting time. So think about that before taking the shot. And did you make your own rig? Well, for just a second, for people who don't know what the rig is, it's like a dolphin.
Hmm.
Just yeah. So did you make your own one, or did you order one pre-made?
I got this one from my friend Danny, so it was just like in his miscellaneous stuff left over from Leica. It's not like a Leica like level rig or anything. Like they have crazy stuff that they like manufacture, but I think it's just kind of like a basic stop motion rig with like a little like metal arm and like a clip on that. But yeah.
I think it was on YouTube. Have you watched the behind the scene that Leica made for the movie with the monkey or
Yeah.
something, made by Del Toro, I think it was. Did
Hmm.
you watch
Yeah.
it? And did
Yeah.
watching the so behind the scene, did you help? Did it help you to master your crafts or something?
I mean, it definitely helps, but like their stuff, like it's insane. Like they are on like such a high level, like the access to like equipment and stuff that they have. It's like I'm never gonna be that. I'm never gonna like replicate that, but it is like super inspiring to see like their stuff is so like fluid and like that I think it's so good, but in a way, I think it kind of takes away from the charm of stop motion because so many people see how perfect it is and they don't even recognize that it's stop motion. They
Yeah,
think that is CGI animation. And so I kind of like, I have a soft spot for like older
I agree.
animation. And because I think so many of us are kind of like wanting to get away from CGI and like the world of AI is like so like
Think it's a generational kind of issues, because we grew up, I mean, I grew up in the 90s where we had like frame per frame movies, like animations, for example,
yeah.
when Disney used to use just paint and brushes, and we watched Nightmare Before Christmas. That was like a revolution to
Yeah.
have a stop motion made for adults, for example,
Hmm.
and Wallace and Gromit, for example, who are just amazing. And I think that our generation has having like, we rooting for that kind of stuff more that we have for CGI, for example.
Yeah.
So I'm totally getting the point here. And I was wondering about something too, is how do you store your set and dioramas?
Here, I can show you. So if you come over here, so this is the table where I basically have like this is Buggrotto just set up um on this like big table. And so it's just kind of like a giant room box of like boards that I like put together and then have stuff set up. So I am really lucky that
Hmm.
I do have like my own room in the house for this, and it's the biggest room in the house because I have so much mini stuff
In
now.
the name of all the person who's watching this, we hate you.
it
Just so
took
you know.
it took a long time to be able to have this space. So I'm like it's a dream come true to have this space. And
I'm sorry.
we also we have some like like workshop space outside, and that's where I keep like in the back of the Halloween video, the huge like pink house that's out there because it's so big.
It was incredible. And I was wondering
Yeah,
about something. Do you usually create your dioramas in 1/12 scales or 1/6 scales?
all 1/6.
So
Same
yeah, bigger,
Barbie.
bigger.
Yeah,
But the place
stop
is
motion
needed.
would be so hard at 1/12 scale, but it does take up a lot of
Well, half
space.
the spaces. So yeah.
Yeah. And there's just so much like fun stuff that comes in 1/6 scale. So it's like it's fun to like be able to like shop for Barbie clothes because I'm not a good seamstress for the bugs. So like the frogs clothes, those are like vintage Ken doll clothes from the
No
60s. So I just
fucking way.
yeah, I love finding like old Barbie clothes and stuff. Like they were so well made like back then, and they have so like, she has all the accessories, so it's fun to like be able to mix all that stuff.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Um, I have a stupid question, but I have to ask though. You doing incredible stop motion. We already talked about that. And I was wondering, have you ever considered uh, moving out of the bugs and doing something more commercial speaking, like doing a Barbie made to move bodies or something like that that will reach more people or something like that?
No,
Have you ever considered that?
no.
That's cool.
I like I want to do what I'm passionate about, and I really do want to like bring more people in to like see the beauty of bugs and like loving bugs and like how important that is for like the environment and like the ecosystem
Definitely.
and kind of like breaking down those like walls of like bugs are icky and scary and kind of like more like humanizing them and making them friendly. So yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna stick with the bugs.
Really, this is actually a good thing because I was wondering about that, thinking that from my personal experiences that I don't have a Barbie doll, for example. And so then I'm kind of frustrated thinking that if I had a Barbie doll, I will have more reach, for example. But
Hmm.
that will not be me as a person and what
Totally.
I like to do. And I'm kind of impressed that you never ever considered that because you want to stick to what you're doing. And that's pretty awesome. That make it more
Yeah.
authentic somehow. So well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's important to like follow our hearts and like find those niches. Like the hobby is like huge, the community
Yes.
is huge, and I think there's room for everybody. And it's cool to see like people having different types of dolls, but still being together in the community and sharing like what we like and like what's different and what's the same. Where are your dolls from?
My is kind of a mix and match. For
Yeah.
example, is that I kind of have a body that is from the YMI, like Obitsu 25,
Hmm.
and the head is actually 3D printed. So
Did you
it
3D
comes.
print it
Yeah,
yourself? Yeah.
yeah. I really wanted to have like, I don't know if you ever saw Nendo Raid figure,
No,
those manga closed chibi manga character.
I don't think so.
Okay, so well, they have some kind of system with a face swap, so
Hmm.
you can have different face expression, and I got just really into it because I wanted to have more different face expression and emotions when it comes to the photography. So
That's so
obviously,
cool.
there isn't any many companies proposing that kind of services, and I wanted to have like a realistic kind
Hmm.
of head, so I had to make it myself.
That's awesome. Do you have a resin printer?
Yeah, I had to at
Yep.
some point.
Yeah. I have.
And just a little warning for people, don't ever buy a 3D printer because it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it is. But it's so much like it's really hard, but it's so much fun because it's like we get to make our own toys. It's like I just dream something up and then I can have it made by the end of the day. Like it's just
Yeah,
it's fun.
well, that's funny you say that because I'm actually working on, because the concept of my account is dolls for dolls. So basically my
Yeah.
doll is a doll collector.
Uh-huh.
And I've made a 3D printed of Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which is my favorite video games.
Oh, that's so
And then I
cool.
also made Aladdin too. So that's
Nice.
why I'm saying that no, do not buy a 3D printer because it's a rabbit
It
hole. It's a trap.
it
So
totally is a rabbit hole. Yeah, I've
it's
already got two of them and we're already planning on
it's a
more.
resin
So
printer or is it a filament
I
one?
have both.
Oh my God, I have so many questions now.
Yeah.
Because
I
I was considering buying a filament one because it seems like you have more space to do
mhm.
stuff. But like, is it that worthy at the end? Which one do you prefer to go for?
So I like them for different things. Like the resin printer is great when I'm like making like little props and things that need like the high detail. But the filament printer is so easy and is really great for like structural things, like big pieces of furniture or like windows, like stuff
Oh
that
yeah,
needs to have like a hard edge.
yeah.
Um, and something that needs to be more like structural, since resin is so like fragile. Here I can show you. Like here's okay, here's my wall of Sylvanian
My
stuff.
God.
But so I just started
Oh
printing
my God.
this
It's amazing.
this little like shop. So this is all done in filament. So it's like I wouldn't be able to do that with my resin printer, and it's like it's super like
Yeah.
durable.
But
Yeah.
you don't have any lines. That's something that I really care about filament is that you kind of always have lines sometimes of the printing.
Yeah. So I thought that, and that's why I didn't get into filament printing because, like, I don't know, it's like you kind of look at like filament prints and you're like, oh, this is like junky and like not like great detail.
Yeah.
But they have come such a long way. So I just got my first one, I don't know, a few months ago, and like I'm in love with this thing. It's like if I can figure out a way to print something on my filament printer, I'm choosing that.
See, that's
And
what I'm talking about. This is the
yeah,
rabbit hole part, guys. And
yeah.
also, nothing related. Well, it's actually related. Which one did you find the more easy to use, the filament one or the resin one?
That's hard to say because I I think it was good that I started with the resin printer because it was so hard that like when I came to filament printing, I found it so easy. So like maybe filament is like a good like stepping stone, but honestly, I'm glad I started with resin. Otherwise, I think I would have been like intimidated forever.
Okay.
Um, but I got the bamboo A1 mini and it's only like $200 for this filament printer. And it is just like a little beast of a machine. Like it's super like user
Hmm.
friendly. I haven't had much of like the frustration that I think a lot of like those other like big bed 3D printers have had. So I've had a like really great experience like getting into it. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Like the most common thing is that you launch the 3D resin print for like four
Yeah.
hours and you just go doing your own shit, and you come back 4 hours later and the fail and the print failed, at mid part and you just have the support that have been printed and you're like, yay.
No, it's so sad. And resin is hard because I do that out in the workshop. And so it's like I have to have a whole tent set up for that, for like heating
I was about
control
to ask about that too. Yeah.
and like the ventilation and like the fear of the fumes. Whereas my bamboo A1 mini is just on the table behind my
Mm,
dioramas. And like it's safe to print indoors, it's safe around my animals, and you don't have to do all that like all the cleaning of like with alcohol and curing. So
I know exactly what you're talking about. Cleaning
Yeah.
the resin is just a fucking nightmare.
It
Like
really is.
isopropyl alcohol, people say it's amazing, and it is, but it's not that amazing. You have to just do it twice to make sure that there is not like something sticky. And anyways, yeah,
Totally.
it's just a fucking
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah,
Um,
people think that you just like press play and you just like have a toy created.
but you
It's
know
like
what's
that's
worse? I saw that when I got one.
yeah, no, we all had that dream and then got
I
crushed.
really saw how hard can it be. Well, it is.
Like impossibly hard, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Um, and also, speaking of stop motion, what will be the advice that you will give to someone who wants to start? Let's say I want to start. What will you advise me to do?
Honestly, my biggest piece of advice is like you literally just have to do it. Like
Oh,
you
thank you, Nike. Super. Thank you.
like
Just
there
do it.
yeah, like you literally just have to start taking the photos and like learning how animation like works. So like you can do some like background learning of like the principles of animation are like really helpful.
Mhm.
But like you really just have to like do it to get like a feeling for like the timing and like an understanding of like how movement works.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing you could learn before jumping in is frame rate. So I shoot on what's called ones. So for every movement, I'm taking two photos and
Oh.
then playing it at 12 frames per second.
Oh, so
Um,
you're at 12 FPS.
yeah, and I think a lot of times when I see stop motion where people are like trying it out, like if you get the stop motion app on your phone, I think the default frame rate is like 6 frames per second, and that's when it looks like really jumpy and
Yeah.
jittery. If you try to do so, Leica shoots on 24 frames per second, and that's why it's so
Smooth.
smooth. But that is so hard to do. I think 12 frames per second is a really good like happy medium where you're going to be happy with the
Hmm.
results. Um, so yeah, that's my recommendation is like you really just have to do it.
And well, let's reverse that question. And what do you recommend to not do?
What do I recommend not to do? Getting bogged down in like thinking that you have to like read all the books and watch all the videos and buy all the equipment and have access to Dragon Frame and have a fancy camera and all of these things before you actually do the stop motion. I've seen a lot of people are like, "Oh, stop motion is so cool. I want to get into it," and they just like spend $1,000 on equipment before they even figure out if they like it.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely like just play with the free app on your phone and like gain an understanding of like how it works before spending too much money.
But you use the stop motion app on your phone?
That's how I started out. Now
Okay.
I did buy Dragon Frame, which is like the industry standard software, which honestly, like for what you get with that program, if you find out that you like stop motion, like the price is really worth it.
Okay. Because I tried to use the stop motion app, and the thing that bothered me quite a lot is the quality of the images that you can see.
Yeah.
There is like a different lightning happening between two frames, and it's just within a blink, it changes, and it's just awful.
Yeah, that's another big thing about stop motion is like you can't avoid that if you're using natural light. So I almost always shoot my stop motion at night when everything is dark so that you can control all of the lighting with
Mhm.
studio lighting. Otherwise, it's like even if to your eye the lighting looks the same, it'll jump between frames like so
It's
much because
just
you just
oh,
have control over it.
clearly.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing related. Have you ever watched or heard about, I think it's called Marcel without a shell?
Yeah, I love Marcel the
Marcel
Shell.
with a shell.
Yeah,
With yeah. Oh my
with
God.
Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, they have a behind the scene of the movie they made on YouTube, and I was just mind blown by how they cheated on having him in real life, like record and set. It was just amazing. So I recommend you people
I
who
need to
watching and
I need to
listening
watch
do
that
that.
because that was like my first thought. I watched the movie a few months ago, actually during my stop motion class, and that was like my first question is like, how are they have to like green screen him in or something? Because how are they controlling the light, having him like being outside and stuff?
Clearly, because there's so many outdoors moments, and
Yeah,
especially on the movie because it started as a few videos on YouTube
yeah.
before becoming a movie,
It was like
and
my favorite YouTube creator back in the day.
that was just impressive. But he made a great impression, and I was kind of amazed to realize that it took 14 years
Oh my
between
God.
the first video and the movie. I
Yeah.
was like, this is quite a long time to make
It's
a movie.
it's insane. Like the amount of time that stop motion takes to create, it's wild. Um, One of my favorite stop motion creators, her name is Christian Sigovsky, and she's made one feature film called Blood Tea and Red String. I
Mhm.
highly recommend you go watch it.
I gotta
Um,
do.
that she did everything on her own. So she made all the puppets, all the sets, did all the animation, and from start to finish, I think it took her like 14 years, 12 or 14 years to make that movie. And then she's has another one that she's been working on for like 10 years. So it's
That's
like literally decades
crazy.
go in between making
That's
these
crazy.
movies. Yeah.
Oh my God. But I
The
don't think that Caroline or Coraline is
Coraline,
called.
yeah.
Coraline, it didn't take that much of time to do it. Like it didn't take
Um,
like over 10 years.
I would have to I'd have to watch the behind the scenes again. I think I mean it definitely still took a long time, like compared to making anything live action. Like it's
Yeah,
still
clearly.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think that the record was for Marvel it was 8 months for a movie. So yeah, I can tell that it's not the same.
They're just
And it's
they're just
basically always
top
shoot on
back then.
studios with the green screen. Everything else is CGI. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Marvel movies. It's all just become like US military propaganda and CGI. Like I have no no
I would
love
kind of still
for
recommend. I would kind of still recommend Agatha All Along. That was kind of interesting.
which one?
Agatha All Along.
I haven't seen that.
Well, I recommend to you to
Okay.
watch it because there is something that I really appreciated about the TV show is that they're using as much old movie technique for special effects
That's
and to
cool.
not relate on CGI for the TV shows. And
Yeah.
there is some techniques that I was like, oh, that's crazy cool.
Yeah.
Like using miniatures, like painted board and something. I really thought it was like a good love letter and a good tribute to old movies and classic movies of wizard and witchy things. So
That's cool.
give
That's
it
good
a
to hear.
try.
There actually is like miniatures in film especially are making like a huge resurgence because it's like it's coming back around full circle because now it's that is the more inexpensive option is like doing practical effects with miniatures rather than having like a CGI
Yeah,
studio make something. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
but the fact is that I can't. That Jesus, follow the yellow brick road. The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
The original one that was
Uh-huh.
made like years ago, decades ago now. I can't believe that they painted the background because it looks like it was there, you know? And I'm
Yeah,
thinking that how can this have more texture, more depth than having like watching a Marvel movie when they have building made in 3D
mhm.
and they can have texture, like have bump and everything, and it looks flat. When
Yeah,
on the
totally.
other hand, it looks like death, like amazingly details. I was
Yeah.
like, that doesn't make any sense.
Like literally the Wizard of Oz was so ahead of its time, like that it's crazy. Have you watched The Dark Side of Oz? It's if you watch Wizard of Oz and mute it, but then play the Pink Floyd album Dark Side of the Moon at the same time, like the album like syncs up with the movie and it's like a whole new experience. It's
Oh
pretty
my
amazing.
God,
Yeah.
no.
They have the whole thing like synced up on YouTube. It's called The Dark Side of Oz.
That's crazy.
It's really, really cool.
I gotta watch that. I
Yeah.
gotta watch that. I'm just like, I can't imagine because it's like two different atmosphere.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking it really must have changed the movie, the entire storyline. It's like, so I
Yeah.
gotta watch that.
I watched it for the first time on some different substances, and I'll say it was a very profound experience.
Because at first I was like thinking that, what is she talking about? Is she talking about an adult movie, like a sex
No,
toy story or something
no,
like that?
no,
And I was like,
no.
yeah. But no, this one looks more interesting, that being said. So I gotta take a look at that.
Cool.
What's your favorite, let's say that way, kind of atmosphere to shoot when you're doing your stop motion? Is it more like horror scene? Is it a little more like spooky things? Is it more like lifestyle or regular things?
Um, I think it kind of I really like liminal spaces where you kind of like recognize some like almost like it kind of feels like a dream world where things like it's a normal house but something is like off
Okay.
and it's like it's creepy but in like a comforting way, so I'm kind of just like leaning into that like weird kind of like liminal space feeling of like kind of like a alternate kind of like universe.
Okay, so not like Uncanny Valley kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's more like, so you really kind of grew up with Tim Burton.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Tell me that. Yeah, I can tell now. So that explains why you had so much content during Halloween period.
Yeah, Halloween is my favorite holiday.
But you know that's some kind of funny because it's like a cultural differences because in Europe we do not have the Halloween experience
You
like you
know,
have in Europe. It's
that's like
crazy.
that's so sad that you
We,
missed out
we
on
have
it.
healthcare.
I know. Okay, yeah, you win.
That's
You
always
win.
my argument.
You have human rights and healthcare. But you know what? We got candy as small children unsupervised out on the streets.
That is true.
Yeah.
I remember when I was going for Halloween when I was a kid, and we were just chasing candy, and we went to a house where this guy didn't have any candy, so he wrote down a check for us.
Oh my gosh, that's epic. That's so funny.
This is how in the France we were into Halloween. It tells you how.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. In your collection of all the bugs that you have now, what is the bug that you wish you had?
Melon, or what's the one that I wish that I had?
Which
It's actually one that
insect?
I'm working on her. I already have like her like drawn up and like stories written out. Her name is Amber and she's a weevil. Do you know what a weevil is?
No.
An acorn weevil? Okay, let me pull up a picture on my phone.
A weevil?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff is that? Does it have wings? Does it bite?
No, it's a beetle with a really long snout.
Beetle is like the insect from Edget, right?
Looks like wait, let's see. Where's the camera?
What kind of insect is that?
Look at her face.
Okay, so basically the insect is really cute. No
Yes,
shade.
very cute.
But I never ever saw that one before.
Yeah, they're super cute. There's like thousands of different species of them like around the world. Like they come in bright colors. They're brown, they're big, they're tiny. They're cool, but I'm really excited about like the long snout because I
Yeah.
want to use that a lot for like animation, have her like slurping up food and snooting around and stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun character.
And speaking of that, how do you process when you're doing a storytelling? Do you write it down before? Do you go with the flow?
Yeah, I definitely like I'm just like traditional like I like to write down like pen and paper. I feel like that's like the only like way I can like really get like my creative flow out.
Hmm.
Like not good at typing on a screen or voice recording or anything like that. Like just pen to paper.
Old fashioned. But do
Yeah,
you write the entire storyline? Like when you go on set, the storyline is done, it's like finished, it's case closed, or do you just change
it
things while
definitely
processing?
evolves as it definitely evolves as it goes on. And I feel like I haven't even like scratched the surface of my like storytelling yet. Like there's so like I have long stories written out, but I still feel like I'm because stop motion takes so long and I have so much that I need to build and create to tell those stories, like it's gonna take me 10 years. Like so you're just gonna have to stick around and see. But I have written like my big goal of what I want to do is I've written like a children's book and I want to illustrate it like with my
Okay.
photographs and then also do like a stop motion short film like of the same story because it's like I already have to build everything and make everything
Yeah.
and pose it all for photos and then pose it all for stop motion, so it'd be like really cool to have like the book accompanying the stop motion. So that's like my ultimate goal.
And speaking of that, do you have like a process when you start to do your stop motion? Like, for example, when I do a photo shoot, for example, when I'm doing my dog photography, I always have to take coffee, take a cigarette, go to my room, set up the lights, then go watch some reels on Instagram, and then
Yeah,
do the photos. So, what's your process when you do your stop motion? Because it takes more time
yeah.
than taking photos.
I don't smoke cigarettes, but I smoke weed. And then
That helps. That
yeah,
helps.
totally. And then I come to my room and same as you, like I'm like really messy when I'm making stuff, so it's like hard to get motivated after I've made something and then I have like shit everywhere all over my room. So yeah, usually it's like after I've kind of like reset from like that like kind of like creative flow, then I have to get into a different mindset for like a photo shoot or stop motion and have everything situated.
Yeah.
Um, so that can be hard with ADHD, as you know.
Yeah. It's kind of nice because I'm working on a new dioramas of streets, outdoor streets, and with the building and everything like that. And
Oh,
I
cool.
started to do it today. And this space here, which is the kitchen, is also my craft room, and it's totally messy. Like you can see on the back
Yeah.
here, and you can see on the back there. And I recommend you to not watch on the floor because they're also crap.
Hey,
And
that
I'm thinking that I'm gonna work this on Thursday or Tuesday, I think. And I have to clean it before because if I don't clean, I'm not gonna do it. And I don't want to clean because it's just not my thing.
yep, the same problem all the time.
Oh my God.
That's gonna be
Did
a
you?
huge diorama too if you're doing like an outdoor like road scene. It's gonna take up your whole kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like the, I don't know. Whoopsie, my coffee. Like the front is gonna be this, let's see, this
Oh,
tall, and it's not
whoa.
even on the frame. So you have to cut here, and it's the double size of that. And to match, the door is gonna be here, and I want to put some balcony over there. So
Yes, that's gonna be so
yeah,
cool.
it is gonna be quite tall. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And the plan at the beginning was to put it on 112, and then I thought, but I don't have that much 112, so
yeah.
gotta
So
go
so
1.6.
it's got to be 1/6 because then it's like I always have the same problem. It's like, oh, I should make this smaller, but then it's like, but I have all the fun stuff in 1/6 already. It's like I want to use all my props and
That's
stuff.
that's true. But the thing is that when even for example, furnitures or like kitchen tools or whatever, it's so much easier to find it in 112
Yeah.
scales that look realistic. Because on the 1/6 scale, if you got like a kitchen, for example, you have to go, for example, with Mattel and Barbie stuff, which look kind of cartoon-ish.
Have you
Doesn't
gotten
look,
into Miniverse at all?
yeah. Who hasn't?
That's what like I'm obsessed with. Because mini food is like my favorite part of
Yeah.
miniatures, and so I love that it's 1/6 scale. So like a lot of the stuff in the bug house is directly like miniverse stuff that I've made.
That's also a problem with when you have a 3D printer. We get
Yeah.
back on that subject. Is that I 3D printed the sushi
Oh, that's awesome. And
because
then you
I
have to,
wanted to have sushi.
yeah. There's miniverse sushi.
Yeah, but the thing is that what I don't like about Universe is that it's a blind box, and I want to know what I'm paying. You know?
So there's like a whole rabbit hole that you can go down. Have you heard like the pinholes and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I tried once, and you had the smoothie with banana and strawberries, and I end up with the fucking matcha, and I hate matcha.
oh
So,
no.
yeah, the pin code works perfect. And the thing is that the problem that I have is that I'm wondering if, because the codes that I have found and the pin code that I have found is from the United States, and I'm wondering in Europe, is it the
Yeah.
same system? Does it work the same way?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's tough.
a
Yeah.
bummer.
I because I'm like a big miniverse collector, and so now what I do to avoid getting duplicates is like anytime there's a new series, I just buy a case directly from the company, and so you're almost guaranteed to get one of each is what I do now.
Speaking of, I've 3D printed a donut, and I have a bunch of them.
So many donuts.
Yeah, because I thought donut is cool. You can do whatever you want in it. You know, I have
Yeah.
resin and I have pigment color, so I can make glaze and things like that. So,
So
and I already have a slicer ready to print strawberries.
nice. Have you ever done anything with polymer clay, like polymer clay food?
I tried to. I've made a kebab with polymer clay, and I also did some because I'm from North Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made some miniatures of food, traditional foods that we have in North Africa because we basically cannot
Yeah.
find any.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of had to learn some stuff, and yeah. Did you do that too?
Yeah. Yeah. So before I got into Miniverse, I was into making mini food with polymer clay,
Hey.
which is harder than making Miniverse, but I really like it.
Yeah,
Polymer
because you
clay.
had to start from scratch. That's the
Yeah.
thing with polymer clay.
Yeah.
You have to start from scratch.
The thing
I'm just
I'm not good at with polymer clay is have you seen the canes where like you almost make like the pattern of like a tomato and then like
yes,
you roll your
I saw
claw.
that. I
Yeah,
saw
so
that.
that's
I tried once, and when I sliced it, it flapped everything. So I don't know how people can do that.
so much patience.
Duh.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't have that. That's the thing. That's the problem that I have with my ADHD is that if I start something, I have to nail it
mhm.
within 1 or 2 hours. If it goes
Yeah. If
above,
I'm not
then it's
good at
over.
it, I don't
I'm
like
done with it. I don't ever want to hear about it anymore. Like it sucks. It's awful. That's
yeah.
just And I'm just so you know, that's a fun fact, random fact. My boyfriend is from Germany. We're living in Germany, and I'm
Oh, I
learning
didn't know.
German. Huh?
Nice. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you were in Germany. I thought you were still in France.
Well,
That's
we are the
awesome.
border actually. We are the border of France
Okay.
and Germany. So I'm working in France and I'm living in Germany.
That's
And I'm learning German, and being mad in German
Yeah.
is the best.
That's the
Like, oh,
language
cool.
for it. You got
It's
some
totally
violence.
the best thing to do. Like German, being mad in German is just amazing. So I recommend to people to learn German just in case you want to be mad.
That's awesome. I've
That's
just
the
started
best thing to do.
learning, I've been learning Mandarin over the
I,
last week.
I don't know if being mad in Mandarin is kind
No,
of,
it's way too like cute and friendly of a language to be
yeah,
mad in.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if, because I know that German, for example, have a thing when they combine few words together to create
Mhm.
a new words, and I'm wondering if in Mandarin is kind of the same thing, right? Or not?
I honestly don't know enough about it yet to say. I've done like 3 Duolingo lessons and a lot of Google Translate on Xiaohongshu.
Oh my God! So you now you're being friend with the green owl, and you're
Yeah,
being harassed by the green owl.
yeah.
Oh Lord! So we're getting close to an ending. So traditional question: who would you like to see in the Chit Chat show?
So I have a recommendation. She is an amazing storyteller and also like a very different like niche of the miniatures hobby. Her account is called Diana's Sylvanians. So she has Sylvanians and calico critters. But like her storytelling is amazing, and she is like the sweetest like woman ever. Like she has been my cheerleader on my bug account from like the beginning. Like she comments on like
Oh,
every post, and
oh,
like
that's so
the
cool.
stories that like she's putting out are like way above and beyond anything that I'm creating. So like definitely go check
That's
out her stuff.
crazy. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about something because you mentioned it. Because in France we called it the civilian family too. The
Hmm.
what's the Coca, whatever you called it?
Calico critters. Yeah, that's the stupid American name for them.
Oh, so yeah, yeah, you translated the
Yeah.
Caracu, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think it was like some weird like US like copyright issue or like I don't know. But yeah, that's
Hmm.
they when they branded them in the US, they called them calico
Okay,
critters. But yeah,
that's
Sylvanian
fine.
yeah, but the same thing.
Yeah, because I saw that on YouTube once, someone making a review on a new village of a house and things like that, and he called it something else, and I was like, but that's a civilian
Yeah.
family. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's odd.
Yeah.
But now it makes more sense. Okay. Well, thank you very, very much to join,
Thank
to have
you.
participated, and well, I hope to talk to you soon and obviously see much more
Yeah.
of your story.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Thanks for having me on, and I can't wait to see your new city street diorama.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you some miniatures that I made, some props because I'm really proud of it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Can't wait to
Thank
see.
you very much. Have a nice day. And yeah,
Thanks,
because
you
it's early
too.
morning at your place, so enjoy. It was a nice day.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night from me. Bye.